Alrighty, everyone. Well, game number 4 in this best of 5 series finds us on New Repugnancy LE. Spawning here, top left-hand corner, or I'm sorry, the top right-hand corner of the map, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He's currently down, but certainly not out of this series just yet. His name is Lambo. And his opponent spawning in the cross position, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's currently on match point, wants to close out this series right here and right now. His name is Serral. So, guys and girls, this has been a very exciting series that was played at the WCS Spring Tournament and was one of the round of 16 matchups of that tournament, and it has definitely lived up to the hype. I gotta say, the longer I've been casting StarCraft 2 games, the more intense the games get as time goes on. I mean, every tournament it gets more and more intense, and just the different builds, and it's just different, seeing the different metas and the different build orders and the different unit compositions. It's so exciting, and this has been one of those series that's been very exciting because both these players, you can tell that Serral has the edge because he just outsmarts Lambo at times, but Lambo takes so much from Serral. You can just tell that it's almost like Serral has to play against himself because Lambo and Raynor are these two guys who are, you know, they are guys who are definitely mirroring some of the things that Serral, you know, what he's been so successful with. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just, it's one of those things. It makes it difficult for Serral. He has to kind of come up with different strategies in order to beat his opponents, because they're starting to learn what he does and how, you know, how he wins his game. So there's just so many ways that Serral has to try to win matchups, and it's just it's a beautiful thing. It really is. That being said, though, guys, we are going to see hatch gas pool openers out of both of our players here. And it looks like, you know, there's double queen production. We're going to see the Zerglings that are going to be popping out of the cocoons here shortly. We're going to see metabolic boost, which of course is a Zergling speed upgrade that's being researched by both players. And it does look like we are going to have ourselves, very similar, production tabs, at least at this point in the game. You'll see that a lot of times in the ZvZ matchup. Usually, if you're talking about a macro-focused game, generally speaking, at least in the early stages of the game, you will see very similar or near identical production tabs from these players. But I will say this: if you are a Zerg player or someone who really enjoys, or that's your primary race that you play with when you play StarCraft 2. Definitely, there's things to learn from both these players from a series just like this one. The timings and such. So I would highly recommend, studying these players and kind of some of the builds that they go for if you're struggling with the ZvZ matchup. That being said, we're going to see the third hatcheries coming in for both players. Looks like there are Zerglings on either side for either opponent, kind of nibbling away at these third hatcheries, trying to, take away a little bit of that HP. But that being said, it looks like that is going to be shoot away, at least for the time being, from Serral. And Lambo is going to keep on trying to kind of nibble away here. If he could get the cancel on this, that would be huge, but it does not look like he's going to be given that opportunity. But the thing that I love, and I know that lots of people knock the ZvZ matchup, the thing that I love about it so much is that there's things happening all over the map at all times, and that's what makes this matchup so incredibly exciting. We are going to see those Baneling nests are out. We're going to start seeing Banelings coming in now for both these players. Looks like Serral does find one Baneling just chilling out in the middle of the map. And it does look like Serral is going to start to move in here. He wants to do a little bit of some damage. Nice little Baneling hit there. Does look like he is going to try to get some of these drones, which would be a massive ordeal as well. Serral is going to continue the aggression, though, with some of these Zerglings at this point. He is kind of at that lost mining time, but more and more Banelings are going to be coming in here. This is going to get very interesting as Banelings are coming in. Oh no, Lambo might be in a little bit of a pickle here as he is trying to figure out what he needs to do. A little bit of some miss micro there with one of those Banelings. Now, it does look like Lambo is kind of holding his own, at least for the time being. But man, it's so back and forth at this point. More Zerglings going into that main, or that natural base location. Looks like it is going to be held off, at least for the time being, and Lambo is going to be able to, fight another day. But one Baneling could really spell disaster for either one of these players, and that's where these matchups get so intense. And it does look like there is still some action going on here, as we are going to see the Roach Warren coming in now for Serral. So Serral's going to get that Roach Warren out. It all comes down to this micro, though. The micro is everything. You got to be very careful how you kind of play this, because you do not want to lose these Zerglings for free, and that is without a doubt. It is just so much that goes into this. The Banelings are coming in. The Queens, though, are kind of that shield here. Lambo's trying to make a move of his own, trying to get into that natural base location of Serral, and it looks like the drones are being pulled off the line once again. But oh man, it's back and forth at this point. Both these players, beautiful Baneling hits there, though, by Serral. And Lambo now is going to have to figure something out, because it does look like there are going to be Zerglings that are over at that third hatchery, and they're starting to try to nibble away at some of those drones. Oh, wow. So back and forth. A very different type of pace of matchup that we have seen in this series so far. Does look like the Zerglings are going to start trying to do as much damage as they possibly can. Banelings are coming out here. Here we go. Oh, it all comes down to the micro. It really does. Oh my God. Beautiful play here. There's a lot of Banelings out for Lambo. I do not think that Serral wants to really go flying into this army composition, at least for the time being. It looks like he is trying. He's kind of not really making up his mind, at least at this point. But that's it. It looks like the follow-up is going to be a lair out of Serral. We're going to see a Roach Warren now coming in for Lambo. We're going to see those +1 upgrades coming in now as well out of the Evolution Chamber for Serral. So it's just more back and forth. Here we go. Oh, you got to be so careful. These Banelings, man. They could absolutely decimate your entire army of Zerglings without any hesitation, and that is without question. Now, it does look like Serral is going to try to find an angle, and he's very patient at doing this. He will try to find angles that work for him, but it does look like Serral might have found a little bit of an angle here, as he is going to get into that natural base location. Does look like the Banelings are going to be coming in as well. Those floodgates are now open. It does look like Serral is going to get the surround on some of these drones. This could be absolutely detrimental to Lambo and his supply, as it is starting to plummet here, and all of those drones that are going down as well. He's in the main base now. Serral, being as patient as possible, is now starting to do a good amount of damage here in that main base location. More and more roaches are now going to be following this up here. Oh my God. Gladiator Constitution is going to be started as well for Serral. And it looks like Lambo, he's getting his roaches out, but the question is it going to be enough? Because these roaches are moving down. Now, it does look like Serral is kind of moving his units a little bit away from that natural expansion here, interestingly enough. Oh, man, what an intense game so far. And GG is called once again. Wow. Guys, I'm absolutely puzzled. I mean, not completely puzzled, but just, here's what we'll look at. If we look at this from the standpoint of why, that big question as to why did Lambo GGL? Well, let's look at it. Serral's at 129 supply right now. Lambo is supply blocked currently and is at 91 supply. Serral has the more minerals. He's going on to his fourth hatchery at this point, and it's about over halfway done. And Lambo, even though the past 2 games prematurely, GG'd out, he knew that Serral over time was just going to overwhelm Lambo and his army, because look at all these roaches that are out on the playing field. There's just not enough here. Now, you could say that Lambo could have turned the tide of battle, but the chances of it happening against the best player on the planet were very, very slim. That being said, guys, I hope you all did enjoy this game and this series between Serral and Lambo. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe for new, stay positive, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.